Hello everyone, welcome to my tutorial. Today's tutorial I'm going to talk about the dependency injection again and how we are going to make it. So now we already know that the DI is the way of providing an object with its dependencies. Okay, so just remember that DI is the way of providing an object with its dependencies. Now how we are going to provide the dependencies? There are a few ways. Let's look into that. So one is the constructor way, and the other one is the property, and the other one is the method. Okay, so these are the three ways that we can provide or we can inject the dependent objects to a main object. And of course the Spring is the framework that supports the DI. Now let's look into the different ways of making it. So the first one is the constructor injection. So the constructor is used to pass on the dependency of a class. Okay, so that means again the constructor method is injecting dependencies through a constructor. That is called the constructor dependencies. Now you can see that over here we have a user service class. Okay, that is the dependent object, and we are using that for the user system class. And we can see that over here we have a constructor, and within the constructor we are passing the reference user service. Okay, and then we have a method over here, do something, and then we are going to print something from that reference, get username. So that means the get username is defined within the user service. So let's say that we have a user service class, and then we have over here get username method. Okay, and this is returning something, maybe a string. Okay, now whenever we are going to print, it is going to print the username for that specific object. Now this is the way of the constructor injection. Now let's look into the method injection, and it says that there are three files over here, the class user, and there are some getter and setter methods, and we have a property that is the student name. And then we have a ApplicationContext.xml file, and this is very important for Spring application development. And within that, we have defined a bean. Okay, so what is a bean again? A bean is an object within the application that we are using it. So in this case, the bean is represented by this class. Okay, the class is com.study8.j106.model.user. So this is the location of the bean. Okay, or the user class is the bean. And whenever we are going to refer this object, we are going to refer this through the USR. So that's the bean ID. Okay, and then we have a property name is student name. Over here we have defined this property student name, and then we are setting the value of that property as ABC. Okay, so whenever we are going to use this bean, okay, within a test class, so we are going to write something like this: resource rs equals new class path resource, and we are providing the ApplicationContext.xml file, and then there is a bin factory equals new XML bin factory. So don't worry about these things. These are some helper classes that we will be using or will be encountering later on again. So the basic purpose over here is to get the bin. Okay, and this is where we are getting this bin employee MP equals fc.get bin user. Okay, and that means we are trying to get the bean over here. Actually this should be user equals factory.get bin user. Okay, and we are referencing to that bean, and then whenever we're saying that assert equals abc.get student name, okay, we are going to get the student name. The next one is the dependency injection DI, and again the method injection and how we are going to use that using the setter method or setter injection. So the dependency provides an injector method that will inject the dependency into any client passed to it. Clients must implement an interface that exposes a setter method that accepts the dependency. So again, we have the user service class, and this is the dependent object, and we are passing on over here, see the set user service, and within that we are passing on this reference, the user service reference. And so whenever we are going to invoke, so once that is being set, we can invoke that, okay, and we can get the get username. Okay, so that's all about the DI, that how we are going to make it, and make sure again that there are a few ways: the constructor injection, the method injection, and then the property injection. Okay, we also learned about the application context.xml file, and there we have said that bean id equals user, and then this is the class equals, so you give the full path of the class, okay, and then we have the property name, okay, and value. Okay, so the property name is, let's say, student name, and the value is ABC. So what it is doing, whenever we are going to invoke this, let's say this student object, which is, let's say, a dependent object, and then we can get, or we can extract the value ABC whenever we are doing the injection. Okay, so that's all for today. Thank you.